First of all, drag racing started when my dad went to get what is that? Deported to Iraq. I actually started with just an engine, no cars. What happened is I was into Toyota Corollas, and I never got around to getting it. Then I saw Hondas on the drag strip on online YouTube, watching them on the drag strip, and they were doing crazy numbers, bypassing V8s and V6s. So that's pretty much where I got the love for the Honda build. I called H Motors, Steve at H Motors, and ordered my first engine with no car at all to put it in. When that thing, it took about 3 weeks to come in, I brought it here, and my mom thought I was going crazy. Like, what are you doing with this engine? You don't have a car to put it in or anything. I tore the whole engine apart from top to bottom and laid it out in the garage, and pretty much that's where it began. I put it back together, tore it apart, put it back together, learned the in and outs of the whole engine, and I finally bought my first Honda, which was actually an Acura Integra RS model. Put that engine in the car, which is just a non-VTEC 1.8 liter engine, and I think I got that to run maybe a 15-20 with street tires, no slicks. So that was actually my first build. From there, I started to fly Oahu every weekend, buy cars, bring it down home, and tear them apart, take all the extra parts, and sell the car, and use all the extra parts as upgrades to my new car, which I bought a '95 Honda Civic hatchback. So from there, I tore that whole thing apart again. Everything came out, brake lines. That thing was bare metal shell that I painted white. It was all kinds of colors: red, green, white, black. Yeah, pretty much tri-coat color. I painted that all white. I put a B16 turbo that I built into the car. It ran, I believe, a 13 flat. I ended up buying 5 engines at about $5,500 a piece that I blew up each one of them. Trying to tune the turbo. We got the turbo to finally get in tune with a 12-hole flat run. The oil pump blew up on us, and that's where it kind of went downhill from there. That was my 5th engine. I blew one engine up right in the garage on startup, and the rest was blown at the drag strip. So yeah, very expensive schooling for me, especially not going to school for anything. Life got in play. We didn't really have time to race anymore, so we kind of sold off most of my racing stuff for about 2 years, and then my uncle called me up one day and he said, "Hey, I got, I'm selling all my Honda parts and all my cars." So we went over to his house that day and I bought it cash, $8,000 cash. Some of his engines at that point, whatever money I had for whatever he had at that point, I bought some of the engine and the car itself, this car right here. I never ever thought I would buy anything older than 92 Honda, but I did, and I brought it home. Probably took us about 3 weeks till we started working on it. And dad woke me up one day. He's like, "You know what? We gotta jump on this car. We're gonna get out this, this drag season." So I said, okay, whatever, bring the car out. We stripped everything down. And I was actually, this car was another car that was tried, maybe 5 different colors. Green, white, red, black, teal, everything. And Dad was like, no, we cannot bring this car out in multi-colors. So we gotta paint it first. So I did a real quick body work on the thing, and we painted the car white that day. Took us about a day total. And then we brought it home. We pulled all the glass out before we painted it, and then the roll cage was painted. The inside of the car was painted. Took us about, I would say, about 2 weeks to put everything back together. Drop the engine inside. All of this was done after work and all till like morning hours. And we finally got it started up. And I told my dad, you know what, let's just bring it out there all motor. I actually ordered 2 turbo kits to come in for the car. And I told him, you know, let's build it all motor and we'll see what it does right now, because the car is so much lighter than the rest of the cars that I built. So we brought it out, and the first pass that we did that day was the 1360 on a bone stock Honda 1.8 liter with a GSR motor. And I was so amazed with the time that I canceled the order, or I sent back the orders of the turbo kits. And I told me that, you know, let's build all motor from here on, you know, kind of get my standalone tuning back on track and kind of learn it from there instead of blowing stuff up again. First started racing this car, I told Dad that he's gonna be the driver, and he didn't believe me at all. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. I said, well, that day of the drags, we went out, and I said, you got your pants, shoes before we left out? Oh yeah, I got it. I told him, you can't walk onto the, you can't come and help me at the starting line if you don't have pants and shoes. So I kind of tricked him that he needed to have the pants and shoes. He went out there and we're putting on the slicks, started it up, and said, you know what, they're starting to call cars into the pit. And I told him, hey, you know what, you better put on your pants and shoes, you're driving. And he's like looking at me, oh, I can see the happiness in his eyes, smile from ear to ear. And that was like the best feeling ever. I think I found it in me that I'm a lot happier tuning the cars, putting it together, and watching, you know, Dad and Michael, my brother Michael, actually I built another car for him when he was down there. Yeah, we had 2 cars that I built for both of them, and they both were driving. I was the tuner and the builder. And Mike actually his first drags, he won second place with a 4-door Integra. With the GSR inside, street tires, and he learned how to drive on the track that day. That day he learned how to feather out the wheel spin and whatnot, and it was damn good. It reminded me of me when I first started driving. To me, I think it was more satisfying to see them go down, see the smile on their face when they're driving back to the pit spot. And they come, oh man, that adrenaline. You talk to them, it's so funny because I'm telling them what to do. Burn out on this gear and do this, and you gotta launch with this. Your clutch gotta be all preloaded the axles and blah blah blah. And the moment they do it, I had a GoPro in the car, and the moment they go on to do a run, they completely do nothing that I told them. They were so full of adrenaline that they pretty much went blank. They were like in the zone to just drive the car, you know. And it was really funny because that's the beginning part of it, because they never had the experience. So when they come back, I asked them, did you do this? Did you do that? I don't remember. I just remember driving the shit out of that car, and I started bust laughing, and you know, there was a point where I kind of was frustrated because they weren't listening to me, but then again, you see that smile on their face, and you know, it's real satisfying to me.
They are so close off the line. A 022 reaction time for Robbie. A 0